Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps, and today we created this super cute embroidery hoop card. Okay, so this is the Lovely Layers shaped embroidery hoops. I have die cut my pieces, and I want to, out of this oval, I want to create the embroidery frame. So I'm going to take that smaller oval piece and cut this out. I did die cut that from some wood grain cardstock I had in my stash. Then I'm using these florals from the Floral Easel stamp set. I'm going to stamp that in the center of my cute little fabric here. I'm just using like a little soft pink cardstock for that. I'm going to ink this up with my intense black ink from Honeybee Stamps, and I'm going to use some Olo markers to just do a quick coloring. So I've got some greens here. You can see the caps to the colors that I'm using. I'm going to do some red flowers in the center. I thought that would be pretty against the pretty pink background. Now, logically, I know that this decorative hoop would not have, when you're finished, wouldn't have the fabric hanging out of it. But I just thought this is such a cute die, and this is how I wanted it to look. So this is what I'm doing today. It's card making. It doesn't have to be exact, right? So I'm starting with my darker red, going to the areas of the flowers that I want to be darker. So at the base of these petals, at the bottom of that little flower at the top. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of a medium color. I think I come back in with a lighter color on this one. And then I do two lighter colors on the flower next to it. Again, the coloring is so super simple on this. It's a really pretty small image, but I love it in this design. I think it's so dainty and so pretty. Let me go into my lightest color here, go around, and then I will bring back in the darkest color into the center of that flower just to make that a little bit darker. And then let me add a little bit darker, or no, lighter there. Okay, that is good. Look at how pretty that is. Now I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending with these Belux blender brushes. This is Victorian Velvet. So I'm going to go around the edges of the fabric, and then from the die cutting, there is an embossed oval, and I'm going to ink blend on both sides of that oval because that's where the frame is going to be. And so I want to have a little bit of a darker area inside and outside, but I'm starting off light and then building my color. I don't want to accidentally go too dark, especially because I already colored this image. And then I would have to start that over, and I don't want to do that. So I am just going to start off light. I'm going to line up that oval and see, do I need to go out a little further? And I do. And then some of the folds there in the fabric, I will also add a little bit of shading to that as well. But you can start to see how pretty that's looking with some of that lighter and darker area. So let me get those little folds. And then that is good. And I do die cut out another piece of this die cut right here from white cardstock because I'm going to have that layered behind this for the finished card design. Then I'm going to use, first I'm going to splatter. I'm going to splatter a little bit using that same Victorian Velvet, mainly in the center. If a little bit gets on the outside, that's fine, but that's how I'm going to do that. Then I have some light gray cardstock, and I am using the Embroidered 3D Embossing Folder, and I do trim this down 1/4 inch on all sides, but look at how fun that is. And I'm going to take Honeybee Stamps Brilliant White ink and gently run it over the embossed areas. And even though it's on gray cardstock, you can see here that it is making those images pop. I didn't want to just leave it as is. I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to add like a pink or something to this because I did that and I did not love it. Okay, let's glue this together. We have our little embroidery hoop here. The piece at the top I die cut from gold mirror cardstock, so we will adhere that, and you can see that other little white piece that I was talking about. And I'm just going to offset those to be layered onto my background. How cute is that? So I'm going to grab some 1mm foam adhesive and add that behind both of these pieces so it has a little bit of dimension from each other and then some dimension from the back of the card, which is our embossed background. And then let me do the sentiment. The sentiment is from the Floral Easel stamp set. It's the Thinking of You sentiment. I'm going to stamp that on white cardstock with black ink. And then I'm using the coordinating die to die cut out that sentiment. Let's add the other 1mm foam adhesive. I'm going to just turn this a little so it's on a slant, but centered in that cardstock that I trimmed down. And then 1mm foam adhesive behind our sentiment here. And these are strips on this. And then I'm also going to adhere this to the wood grain background that I had in my stash. So I kind of just brought that wood grain back into the whole card design here. And I'm going to finish this off with the Fall is in the Air gem stickers. And I'm using these, I mean, they're a really soft pink and it's perfect for this. It just adds this beautiful little shimmer without it being too dark. I was debating on dark pinks and reds, but I'm glad that I found these. I have a drawer full of Honeybee Stamps gems, and I mean a drawer full. Like I had 2 handfuls of these things searching for the best one for this card. And then off camera, I did take my white gel pen and I added some dots inside of that embroidery hoop. But let's take a look at this up close. Look at how pretty it is. What a fun, simple, easy card, but it is so darling. These die cuts are so darling. I just love them. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this video. I hope you feel inspired and I hope you have an amazing day.